News from my neck of the woods, KX News has this story out of Williston, which is the main city of North Dakota's Bakken oil field, the primary one existing there to service all of that stuff. And let's see how they're treating their civil servant, shall we?
Medical emergency. One North Dakota family has found themselves far from home with no idea as to how they'll pay their medical bills. KX News' Jordan Rodriguez talked with the family about their story.
On November 11th, 2022, the Reese family got the news no family wants to hear. Their 2-year-old son, William, was diagnosed with leukemia, a cancer that, if not treated, can be fatal within months. After getting the diagnosis, William and his mother, Marisol, flew out to the Primary Children's Hospital in Salt Lake City, Utah. The Reeses say they informed the Wilkinson Elementary principal, Jeremy Brenner, as well as the Wilson Public School HR, what was going on, and they couldn't believe what happened next.
I went across the street and spoke with...
Can I just say, and let's put this one here. I can believe, as anybody familiar with the American Health Service understands, those sorts of assurances, you can believe what's going to fucking happen next to these people.
HR over there, her name, I believe, was Miranda, a nice woman there. She said, "Don't worry, go take care of your kid. Everything's fine. The job is secure."
A few days later, the Reeses started to receive phone calls about the state of Marisol's job. The Reeses stated that after a conference call, Marisol and her family were left with two choices: voluntarily quit and be eligible for rehire at a later date, or be let go.
I really need to keep my job. I'm the only source income here in the house, and I really need my job back.
With William's father, Thomas, recovering from a collapsed lung due to COVID, he is currently not able to work, making Marisol's insurance the only one they could use. But after making the tough decision to quit, her insurance was canceled. The family was unable to get insurance in North Dakota because they now live in Utah, and they weren't able to get insurance in Utah because they aren't residents.
We're trapped in a void. We can't get insurance from either part. And the hospital here has fantastic financial planners and fantastic social workers, but they're telling us they've never seen anything like this before.
This dilemma leaves them no other choice but to pay out of pocket. For KX News, I'm Jordan Rodriguez.
KX News contacted Williston Public School District and the Wilkinson Elementary School, but have not yet heard back. A GoFundMe account has been set up in order to help the Reeses with some of those expenses. To find a link to give to the cause, you can go to kxnet.com.
Yeah, so I appreciate KXNet including the link. I have it here. I'll include that as well. But I do want to say, of the $50,000 goal, they've raised under $7,000, and hopefully we can boost those numbers a little bit. But this system, where all of a sudden, and I don't know what's going on with that school district. There's no reason they should be short on funds because of how much money is flooded into that area. But I have noticed that different financial directors in different news stories have stepped down in the past few years. So it sounds like there's some shit going on there, which would be the resource curse coming to my home state, I guess, maybe. But you should not have to keep your job when your kid gets leukemia. Right? She's not wanting that because she wants to still. You should be able to drop every fucking thing in your life and treat your toddler who has leukemia. And so it drives me nuts. I appreciate the community rallying around them to the extent that it has. The news story is nice, but and the nice lady at the HR, great. Interpersonally, everyone doing a great job. It's not enough. And we just break people like this. And it's just sickening to see it happen. And I also have to just dwell on Dad doesn't have his job anymore because he has COVID and it collapsed his fucking lung. And, it's just, this country's fucking insane, man. It's really wild.
I mean, it's truly despicable. I mean, look, the arguments we know, getting sick should not be a death sentence in this country. We have the technology, we have the medicine, we have the ability to treat people. The only thing that, the only thing that is is the thing, like, this is, people who have dedicated their lives to public service, looking out for the community. The community is trying their best to look out for them. But again, like, what is this in service to? It's in service to private healthcare system, right? That, like, they then have to, like, basically, like, see their finances ruined, see their ability to get food on the table ruined because somebody got sick. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting, and it's preventable. It's just, what's so disgusting about it is, like, look, disease is something that that's with us, right? People are going to get sick. The tremendous increases in our ability to treat people is something that should be a boon to society. And instead it becomes this, like, double-edged sword, which, like, we can treat people, right? But it's also going to destroy your life financially. If it's not difficult enough to already have to be taking care of a kid in a situation like that, just emotionally, spiritually, we're also going to throw in the fact that this is going to completely decimate your ability to live and survive in this society financially. Yeah, and it's so fucking preventable, and it's hard because it's just like, there's so many horror stories out there, and every time you see it, it's sort of like, maybe this will be the one, right? And it won't, until people get together and build a movement and say, we're not going to put our neighbors through this. We're not going to put ourselves through this anymore, because it doesn't serve us. It doesn't help any of us.
No.
The only people that it helps off are the financiers behind our private healthcare system, who are making a bag. They're making a bag off of this,
Even if you're high income, it doesn't help you, right? Like, if you're because all right, now all of a sudden, the fucking medical companies, they're taking that. Like, you're welcome.
No, I mean, look, to be able to absorb something like that, you have to be in such a high tier. Like, what I'm saying? Like, even somebody's like $150,000, $200,000 a year, that would destroy most families. At that income level, right? So it's just like, it's something that, like, very hard to claw your way out of that danger of, if you lose your job, you lose healthcare. And then again, too, it's like the whole fucking thing with even Obamacare being state based is so devastating too. It's like, oh, now they're in Utah, so now they can't get access to state level health benefits through Medicaid. I mean, truly, it's just so dystopian, and, like, it breaks your heart every time you watch a thing like that, and then you hear those three words, GoFundMe. Because again, like, if that's helped you out of a squeeze, I think that's great. I'm not saying it's bad that people are going out and trying to find ways to get by, but it's just so bleak that instead of having a system that can that can give people healthcare in this country, we basically have to go and do a song and dance to the public to hope that maybe out of the kindness of their heart we can come together. I would much prefer a system where we all just pay a couple bucks a year instead of having to pay out to 15. I mean,
it's truly, especially if you told somebody in the 80s, like, before social media, like, it's truly, if you can get enough notoriety for this family tragedy, maybe the financial hurdle can be met. That's insane. This family is literally being like, oh, thank goodness the fucking local news decided to show some interest, because maybe we can pay a fraction of that.
It's just like, from the media aspect to it, it truly is just such an American tragedy. The tragedy of, like, our healthcare system, and then the tragedy of, like, if you can tell a compelling enough story, then maybe you can survive this. I mean, we need. Do you know, Matt? Not to put you on the spot. Does North Dakota have Medicaid expansion?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we need, across the country, in a lot of states that don't have it, we need Medicaid expansion. We need Medicare for all. It's just, it's really as simple as that.
North Dakota Medicaid expansion. I'm pretty sure North Dakota is. Yeah.
I mean, that just, because that creates such a nasty cliff for people.
So South Dakota adopted it but didn't implement it, but North Dakota adopted and implemented. Yeah,
good little North Dakota supremacy there for you.
There we go.
Oh man. Well, folks, should we run to the post game, Matt?
Yes, we got some more, fun stuff to talk about in the post game.
We had a pretty hot and bothered main show today, which is
I know.
good. It's not
I
good.
need to get one of those smartwatches to just check my heart monitor, make sure I'm not put myself in danger here with some of this. But
we got some stupid guys to talk about. You could join us over at patreon.com/leftreckoning. The support really does help us, cover these kind of stories and hosted conversations like we had with Matt Huber. We're going to talk a little bit about Mr. Jordan Peterson, who gave out probably some of the worst advice I've ever seen him give out. And he's given out a lot of bad advice regarding steak. We also have Tim Pool, another classic. And Matt and I usually don't like to get into this kind of stuff, but we couldn't stop ourselves this time. We're talking a little bit about Jimmy Dore. And the grift and the bullshit that has been pushing. Because, again, I usually try to ignore these folks, but it's reaching enough folks, and I think it's doing enough damage. I think we have to talk about it a little bit. So,
Jimmy Dore's anti-vax Waterloo. So we're about to witness because some stuff's coming out that isn't going to be good for the Joe Rogan, Jimmy Dore. Maybe the vaccine is dangerous. Well, maybe it could have saved you from a vascular incident if you're between 18 and 39. Mm-hmm. So we'll be talking about that and some other stuff. So
hold on, more. Patreon.com/leftreckoning. Appreciate everybody. Really appreciate Matt Huber coming on the show next week. We're going to be talking the progressive case for nuclear power and a few other things.
Yes. I should say David will be without me. I am going to be best man at my brother's funeral. Or not.
Jesus, Matt's a single man. Matt, that's awesome.
At my brother's wedding.
Oh man! Well, have fun. Have fun.
Yeah.
All right, folks. See y'all in a little bit.
Peace.